G'day humans, Chris Stead here. I'm on the road. Today I'm in historic Beechworth in the lawless northeast of Victoria. So called because of the 1852 gold rush that occurred here, where somewhere in the vicinity of 30,000 people rocked up in a couple of years and really made this town a place of historical significance. It's also famous for the Ned Kelly Gang, which was present in the area but also trialled here at the courthouse, which you can still go into. Anyway, in this video I'm going to give you a bit of a tour of Beechworth and show you all the things there are to do here if you want to visit on your way through from Sydney to Melbourne or vice versa, or just looking for somewhere cool in rural Australia to go and check out. Let's go find out what there is to do in Beechworth. So here we are, literally in the centre of town. I love standing in this spot. It's so cool with all the old buildings on each corner. So I thought I'd just quickly start by, obviously one of the things you're going to want to do is check out the centre of town. It really is beautiful. Great place to come, get a coffee, go to the bakery down here. Got some great pubs, places to eat, some pretty awesome looking stores as well. And I'm going to take you to some of the other places, for example down here, which is the historic precinct. We're going to have a look at that. Up there, which is the famous Beechworth Honey. Down this way, where you'll find the Bridge Road Brewery and more. So let's have a quick head down this street, because I think it's pretty beautiful and it's well worth a walk down here when you come to Beechworth. If not, just to get a photo from the centre of the roundabout there, like I've just done. Or to check out the buildings, or indeed have dinner or drink at the brewery. You can see the bakery over there, the cake shop. So one of the things you absolutely have to do when you go to Beechworth in Victoria is go to the historical precinct. Now this here is the road you're most likely to come in if you're coming from the north. So I came in from Sydney and you drive in through this beautiful street. It's October at the moment, spring has sprung. The trees are beautiful. I can only imagine what it'd be like in autumn with these leaves all turning colour and falling, but it's spectacular in spring too. And the first thing you're going to come across as part of that precinct is behind me here. It's the old Beechworth Gaol. Now you can go in there and do tours, but there's only 6 through the day, and the last one, I believe, is at 3 o'clock. I'll show you in a second, and I just missed it. So unfortunately I can't show you inside, because I would have loved to have gone in there, but this particular jail is the start of the historical precinct. And behind us is the quarry, where they used to send all the prisoners to do hard labour and basically quarry out the granite, local granite that was used to build a lot of the buildings I'm about to show you. And expand this area so rapidly after the gold rush, which started about 1852 and saw some 30,000 people from around the world swarm into the area in pursuit of gold. Now here we go. Yeah, so you can see the tour times actually quite early in the day, 10, 11, 12 and 1:30. So you've got to be early to snap it up. And if you want to pair this, as I'm going to talk you through in a second, you can do the old Beechworth Gaol. You can head just down the road here. They've got the Beechworth Courthouse, which is where the Ned Kelly trials were held. And then you can head through the park here to the Bourke Museum, which is the oldest rural museum in Australia, I'm told, as well as seeing all the cool buildings that are around it. So we'll just take you on a little bit of a tour. So they call this the lawless nor'east because of that gold rush, and when it came in, just with the huge swarm of people that came into the area and very little infrastructure and means for the law enforcement to deal with all the crime that was occurring. I don't know if it's true, but the lady at the Tourist Information Centre, the lovely ladies at the Tourist Information Centre, were telling me there was a murder a day amongst all the horse stealing and assaults and so forth, some of which were conducted by the Ned Kelly Gang. So that's the entrance to the jail. As you can see, plentiful parking, just heaps of parking around, no worries there. And as we go through this area, I think you're going to notice, well, I instantly noticed just how well looked after the area is. And honestly, it doesn't feel like there's a blade of grass out of place. Such a beautiful town. And quite an easy stopover on the journey from Sydney to Melbourne, which is literally what I'm doing at the moment. I'm actually going to Bendigo, but I'm coming down from Sydney on that road to Melbourne, yeah. All right, so here's the Beechworth Historic Precinct. So National Heritage listed and bidding for UNESCO listings as well. Little map there, you can see all that you can see. I'll take you through a little wander. I'm not going to go into too much detail. We'll take you inside the courthouse because that's amazing. We'll just give you a little taste of what's on offer here in Beechworth if you want to come down. There's plenty more to do beyond the historic precinct, of course, but yeah, you can see how well it's been looked after. There's been a fair bit of rain and sun this spring already. Yeah, so here's all the buildings running down the length, and that's the courthouse, the big one there. I believe this was the police station. You got the town hall on the other side of the road as well. So all of these, from my understanding, were constructed in the late 1850s predominantly, and are as they were. So these are the original buildings, and if I'm not sure about these buildings here and up this way, but the courthouse still has the original furniture in it, which I thought was awesome. Well, the Gold Office, that would have been a popular joint. Built in 1856, there you go. And this behind me is the Beechworth Courthouse, a very, very famous building. Built around 1858 following the gold rush here. This is where many of the Ned Kelly trials went down. In fact, 40 cases occurred here. And you can go inside and do a bit of a tour and experience. So this is a legit original building. It hasn't been moved or rebuilt or anything like that. In fact, it's got National Heritage listing. And as all these buildings here in the historical precinct of Beechworth as being the best preserved gold rush era buildings in the country. And there's also a bid in at the moment to get these UNESCO listings as well. So it's a legit experience. And going in and doing the tour, it costs you, well, as of October 2025 anyway, about $15 for an adult, 12 for a concession, or you can put in a family of 5 for $40. It's not too bad. It's probably a little a little bit up there, but $10 per, the $40 family price isn't too bad. And it's pretty cool. You can see there's 6 sessions times a day, so the last one's 3 o'clock, that's something to stay mindful of. And it's awesome in there. It's really, really quite cool. They do a kind of interactive experience, shining like video against 3 of the walls with the original sketches and some video and so forth. It's really, really immersive, I thought, and informative. I learned quite a few things. Also, the lady that was in there doing the tour, she passed on quite a fair bit of information I hadn't heard before. So I thought that was pretty awesome too. And just having all the original furniture, and then being able to see, you know, a legit replica of Ned Kelly's armour, as well as the real pistols that were used in the fight, well, the famous one at Glenallen. And yeah, just kind of being able to see exactly where one of Australia's most famous names sat as he was not convicted, but sentenced to trial anyway. So, a real important piece of Australian culture right here. And I'm really ashamed I didn't have my kids with me, because I think they would really it'd just be awesome to see it and actually sit on the actual furniture and soak it all in. It's really quite a cool experience and well worth doing. So just opposite the jail, you're going to find the Town Hall Gardens, and there's some spectacular trees in here. Some great bird life too. Just before I filmed, I saw 2 eastern rosellas. Absolutely beautiful bird. Look at these redwoods. Spectacular. So there isn't a park in here, but there is another park not far, just near the lake, which is good for the kids. I don't know if it's deliberate or just my interpretation, but this just feels like a whole chunk of gold nuggets. This fountain. From what I can tell, this park was actually built to celebrate the centenary of Beechworth, I guess, where it stopped being a tiny little group of farmers and became a town at the gold rush in 1852. There's a memorial down here to fallen soldiers in the various wars. I thought it was kind of interesting. I was looking at this before. I've seen names pop up in both wars. Like there's a private Gladstone here, for example, from World War II, and I noticed at World War I there was another Gladstone here. Where was that? Here we go. Private Gladstone. It's hard to not think that they must have been related, right? In a small country town like this, fair chance. So behind the town hall here, I believe those are the holding cells. You can see behind these red doors. The lady in the information centre was telling me that you can go into some of them, but I might have mistaken it. I thought it was these ones, but it might be I think she said there was other ones behind the courthouse. I'll go have a look. But yeah, so that's some of the holding cells. There we go, Harry Power's cell. The cell where notorious bushranger Harry Power was held awaiting trial. He mentored the young Ned Kelly, shaping a future outlaw. And down here we've got the Bourke Museum. Okay, so here we are at the entrance to the Bourke Museum, named after Bourke the Explorer, who was also the constable or superintendent in the town for many, many years, and well loved, from what I understand, by the locals, and perished famously on expedition. And they've got a museum named after him here, with some walk-in tours, the Gold Rush tour and a Ned Kelly tour. And family tickets $21 as of October 2025, which isn't too bad at all. Let's look, it's not a big space, but it's kind of fascinating. There's so much that you're likely to miss. So I really recommend talking to the curator when you come in, just letting him give you a bit of a tour of the museum, because I learned so much from him. It was great. And yeah, so this is 1856. So right in the thick of it, this was built. Very impressive. Glass window up here. It was an experimental form of doing stained glass. Two Scottish guys were doing it in Melbourne, and it was commissioned for this building. So this building dates back to 1856, and it was commissioned in 1864 and finished in 1874. It took 10 years, and then it was finally installed here. And it's made from animal powder as well as glass powder before it was cured. Looks really amazing actually. I've never seen anything that looks quite like it. Apparently it's very rare. Apparently it's the only one left, that these two Scottish blokes that were experimenting with it left in the world, I think. Also over here, Tasmanian tiger skin. The only one you'll see in rural Victoria. And especially pertinent because there are Aboriginal caves near here, or caves, sorry, with Indigenous art in them, including Indigenous art of the Tasmanian tiger, adding fuel to the fire that it was not originally just a Tasmanian animal. So this has got a fascinating history. This is a mill that was created by a bloke called Reed, who was one of the first squatters here in the early 1830s. And the guy here was just telling us that apparently as early as 1845 he discovered, they discovered gold in the creeks here, but he wasn't interested in it. He just wanted to farm, and wrote it off as some other material, and then got it confirmed as gold in the early 1852, and still kept it a secret. But then two shepherds came through and found gold later that year, and then by November of that year, there were 637 mining licences handed out at £1 per 8 metres squared per month. That's the original mill. And the reason why he found the gold in the creek was because eventually he converted this into a water mill, or built a water mill in the river, using the river. And that's when the people helping him build the mill started seeing what they suspected was gold. So definitely one of the things to do while you're in Beechworth is to see the national classic Beechworth Honey. It's a famous brand, I'm sure you're aware of it, and you can go to the big shop that they've got on the corner in the main street there, and it's really large display, stacks and stacks of different types of integrations of honey into things you can buy and use in your house. Some beautiful displays, and during November they run this thing called Pollinate, which is a big celebration of bees, and I was lucky enough to be there when they were setting up the gallery that they had on display as part of a charity fundraising event for the Ween Bee Foundation, where they got some of their fans to do up this amazing artwork and then turn them into labels, and then put those labels onto limited edition versions of their honey, numbered 1 to 50 for each different jar, and they're trying to raise a bunch of money to put 1,000 bee education kits to teachers across Australian primary schools. So great initiative. They really do support the bees up there, and it's an awesome place to go and just contribute, or hopefully they leave that gallery up, because it was really, really awesome. They had all these love letters on the wall as well that people had written to the bees. And I got to speak to Jodie Goldsworthy, who's the co-founder up there, and just loved her passion and the effort that they're putting into, prioritising bees in the Australian ecosystem. Definitely worth a visit. So one of the best things to do while you're in Beechworth is to head down here to Sandy Beach at Lake Sambell Reserve. So you can see the reserve there. They've been reliably informed by local parents that this is the preferred park of choice by the kids. Got a couple of little shops for get the imagination going, and yeah, not a little bad little park. Some seesaws, monkey bars, a bit of an obstacle course, a couple of slippery dips, some swings. Not too bad. It's also a highlight place to come during the hotter months with the pontoon you can see out there in the water. It's a popular destination for swimming. You can see a couple of kids cooling off after a reasonably warm October day. Ducks to feed, barbecues, beautiful spot. There's also a bike track nearby as well, so you can ride around the park. So one thing you want to check out is the gorge. So you can see it running down through that thin crack underneath the bridge. It's actually kind of cool to go stand up on the bridge and look down at it because it starts so small. There's just this like mini ravine, and then it comes pouring off this waterfall and then down into the gorge below. Now you can approach it from two sides. So there's another waterfall further down that river there, or creek, and you can approach that from the other side of town. Now usually there's a loop road, so you can actually come in on that side of town, go across the bridge, and then come up this one-way street and exit here. And kind of see both ends of the gorge and see both waterfalls. But the bridge has been broken now for 4 years. It's a Victoria Parks construction. The locals are telling me they don't really know when it's going to get fixed, but it's been a long wait so far, so that may not be available to you when you get here, but it's pretty nice the way it comes out of this tiny little gorge, and you can follow it all the way up this tiny little river, and then opens up into this huge crevasse. It's obviously a nice walk as well to just walk down there, like walk down the road. So here's the map that the very helpful ladies at the tourist centre gave me, and you can see here, this is where we're standing, where we're looking at the bridge with the gorge, and you can actually come down the road here. I'm showing my shadow, but the road here, cross this bridge and come round, but that's the bridge that's not working. So there's another waterfall down here you can go to. So you can walk down there, or you can drive in from the other side, and you can get to about here and then walk down and see that waterfall, and hopefully they'll complete the bridge and you can do the full lap going around. So you can see originally here in 1853 there was a water-powered sawmill just here at the top of the ravine. Spring Creek, by the way. And the bridge itself was built in 1874, which makes it one of the older buildings in Beechworth. So just a couple of minutes out of town, you'll find the Mayday Hills, which is a large garden area. At various times of the year, it either goes into bloom or the leaves drop, and it can look pretty at different times of the year. It provides lots of space if you want to just have some serenity or run around with the kids, but it also has this old asylum. So you can come up here just to check out the old asylum, and if you've got the guts, there's also ghost tours that can be done here as well. So you'll find some spooky old buildings and lots of nice cottages, even some vineyards, and just some really nice greenery if you come up here to Mayday Hills. Another cool little piece of history to come see is the Powder Magazine. Again, not far out of town, maybe a minute's drive actually, probably from the centre of town. And this is where all the gunpowder was stored during the gold mining days. And it was stored here because the threat of it exploding was massive, and they built this building down here specifically so that if there was an explosion, it would explode up and not outwards, and therefore minimise the amount of damage caused to the community. And you can't go on the grounds of it, but you can come and see it. It's also at the start of the walk down to the bottom waterfall of the gorge. So you can do both of those at the same time. As far as I'm aware though, it never exploded. Today I'm at Bridge Road Brewers, which is probably the best place to eat and the best place to drink while you're in Beechworth, Victoria. Let's do a tour. So it's actually astonishing how many different pubs there are in this small town of Beechworth. But if you're looking for the Bridge Road Brewery, it's not any of these big pubs that you can see here. It's actually secreted away in a little alleyway. It's actually behind all the shops. It's kind of hard to see. Here it is, the Bridge Road Brewers. If you want to find it, just look for this little sign and then head down the alleyway. It's got a really cool entrance. And as you get down to it, especially as it gets darker and the lights become more prominent, it's immediately immersive and looks like a bloody good time. You see the information here on the way in. Testing guide. Always good music playing as well. Steady bike rack. And around the corner here, they've got a little playground for the kids. Nothing spectacular, just something. A bunch of outside tables, and then you head inside. It's kind of broken up into like a merch area and the actual brewery. Depending on the experience that you're after. There's kind of the actual beer being made. And through here, you can get the beer. So mind you, it's a Wednesday night tonight, but you can see it's already quite popular. Spoiled for choice. But yeah, if you're looking for a place to eat and drink while you're in Beechworth in Victoria, Bridge Road, can't go wrong. And she did say to us, and I haven't had a chance to do it, but if we head back out of town, not far, about 4 kilometres back up the road towards Sydney, you'll get to Woolshed Falls, which is considered, I think they said, in the top 3 waterfalls in rural Victoria. And there's also, even a bit further from that, a tip was to go to Mount Pilot, which is not far from the Woolshed Falls, just up here, and it's about a 350 metre walk up to the top of a rock outcrop, and you can get a 360 degree of the entire area. I'm told it's really great for sunsets. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get up there, but it's definitely one of the things I wish I had done while I was in Beechworth.